In this video, I'm going to show you why the only bike you really need is one of these, a gravel bike. From road riding to off-road exploring, to commuting, to bike packing, these bikes can do just about everything. And with the help of this lovely Giant Revolt carbon fibre gravel bike, I'm going to demonstrate why these bikes might be the only bike you really need. So, one bike that rule them all? Well, I've got 5 reasons why it might be the case. So, let's dive in. The biggest benefit to a gravel bike is just how versatile they are. Gravel grinding, sure thing. Road riding, no problem. Commuting to work, absolutely. Bike packing, you bet. Messing around on local mountain bike trails, why not? So you see, there are really no limits to a gravel bike. Sure, a road bike will be faster and a mountain bike more capable, but a gravel bike will go places where a road bike won't, and places where a mountain bike will be overkill. And it's that perfect balance that makes them so approachable and so accessible and so enjoyable to ride. You can also adapt a gravel bike to your riding and requirements really well too, and this makes them hugely appealing. Slick tyres for road riding, knobby tyres for off-road riding, bags for bike packing, mud guards for winter riding and commuting, racks for panniers and other accessories. You can change so many parts on a gravel bike to change the way it rides to suit the riding you do and the riding you want to do on your gravel bike. This huge adaptability that a gravel bike offers is one reason why they are so popular and why they are so good if you want one bike in your garage. You can have 2 sets of wheels with different tyres, so gravel for Sunday when you're riding for fun, and then slicks on a Monday morning when you're riding to work. The only real limits to the versatility and adaptability of a gravel bike is your imagination. Gravel bikes are also more accessible for 2 reasons: gearing and geometry. This Giant is spec'd with the latest Shimano GRX gravel bike group set. It's a really good example of how a modern gravel bike is equipped for a wider range of riding, both on-road and off-road. So we have a 2x setup with a 48-31 double chain set on the front and an 11-34 cassette on the back, giving you much lower gears than a road race bike. So whether you're riding off-road or on-road with bike packing bags, you can have lower gears to help you spin up the climbs. And at higher speed, the top end gear really won't hold you back. This isn't a bike designed for racing and for sprinting. It's designed for a wider range of riding and people who aren't interested in racing but want to go further, longer, and just go where their imagination might take them. These bikes are also much more accessible due to geometry, which is much more laid back and relaxed compared to a road race bike. So the handlebars are generally higher and closer to you, there's less strain on your back, and that's ideal for everything from commuting to long distance riding to riding around in the woods or bike packing or whatever it might be. The geometry usually sits somewhere between an endurance road race bike and a cyclocross bike. So you've got a longer wheelbase, a slacker head angle, so it's more laid back and more stable at higher speeds and riding on loose ground. You're higher, so better ground clearance for going over obstacles, but not perched as high as you are on a cyclocross bike. So it really is the happy balance between those 2 extremes. The handlebars are usually wider with a slight flare to the drops for more control off-road, and the stems are shorter to further bring the handlebars closer and higher to you. These differences also make a gravel bike the perfect first road bike or the second bike if you're upgrading from a cheaper first bike, because they're much more accessible and much easier to ride than a typical road race bike. Look at the size of those tyres, absolutely massive. Now, comfort is a big benefit on a gravel bike compared to a road race bike, and much of that is down to the bigger tyres you can fit on these bikes. These, for demonstration, are 40mm wide, but the frame will take up to a 45mm wide tyre, so plenty of options to go really wide if you want maximum comfort. Combine these big tyres with low pressures and tubeless, because the rims and tyres are tubeless ready, and you really can enjoy the benefits of a big volume tyre at low pressure, with a puncher providing benefits of tubeless to ensure you have a smooth ride on everything from gravel to pave to rough country lanes and everything in between. There's now a wide range of tyres to choose from, everything from a fat slick like this, perfect for road riding and commuting, and everything right up to a chunky, treaded mountain bike inspired tyre for going through the hardest, sloppiest mud you might be able to find in your local trails. Now these fat, slick tyres might look slow to you, but you'd be surprised just how fast a wide, low pressure tyre like this, and for reference, I'm running these at about 35 PSI, and these are really fast on the road. Sure, you won't keep up with an aero race bike in a sprint, but that's not what a bike is designed for. But you can easily nip along at a cruising speed of 30k an hour, which is plenty fast enough for most people. And when you get off-road, you'll again be surprised just how capable a slick tyre is due to the volume and low pressure on everything but the muddiest terrain. There are now plenty of good tyres that split the difference between fast road riding performance and off-road mud plugging capability. I'll put a link down below to my tyre buying guide, but a good tyre has a fast rolling section in the middle for road speed or hard packed gravel, and a raised aggressive shoulder tread for cornering grip in looser terrain. It's not essential, but in my opinion, tubeless is really worthwhile on a gravel bike. These rims and tyres are tubeless ready, so really easy to get up and running, and the latest rims and tyres make the whole installation of tubeless much easier. And the benefits of tubeless really come into their own when you're riding off-road. And the biggest benefit is you run low pressures with less risk of getting a puncture. And nobody likes a puncture to ruin their ride, especially when you're riding off-road on your gravel bike and you're having a fun time with your mates riding through new trails. You don't want a puncture to ruin your ride. And that's why tubeless on a gravel bike is, in my opinion, essential. The other reason gravel bikes offer so much comfort compared to a road race bike are features designed to provide a smoother ride and isolate you from the shocks of impact riding over gravel or rough roads. And this Giant is a really good example. So we've got dropped skinny rear stays, we've got their unique D-shaped seat posts and a D-shaped handlebar, all designed to provide isolation from rough roads, pavé and gravel. Some gravel bikes go even further by adding suspension elements and other features designed to help isolate you, borrowing some technology from mountain bikes to give you a smoother ride and increase the capability when you are riding off-road. So those frame details and the big tyres and that laid-back geometry I mentioned earlier all combine to create a bike that offers exceptional comfort across a wide variety of surfaces and terrains. And my last reason, and perhaps the most important one, is just how much fun these bikes are. Gravel bikes for me really put the fun back into cycling and put a smile on my face in a way that a few other bikes can. And because of all those reasons I mentioned earlier, of how versatile they are, how adaptable they are, how good they are in a wide range of situations and scenarios. There really are a few limits to these bikes. The only limits are your imagination. If you want a bike that can do just about everything, a gravel bike surely ticks that box. I've been riding gravel bikes for the last few years now, and it's done more to open up cycling in a way I never imagined before. It's that ability to go wherever you want that makes these bikes so appealing. You can ride on the road, see a small gravel track down through the woods and dive off onto it and see where it goes and not worry about where it goes, just follow it and have fun. It's a bike that isn't easily pigeonholed into one category like so many other bikes, and you can ride this bike everywhere, anywhere, and do just about everything on it. And that to me is why it's so much fun. So there we are then, 5 really good reasons why a gravel bike might be the only bike you really need. If you've got other reasons, do let me know down below in the comment section. Love to hear your thoughts on this topic. And if you enjoyed this topic, there are other videos on gravel bikes linked above. Go and check those out. Loads more content on my channel. Maybe consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you're new to my channel, loads of videos coming out on a regular basis, so make sure you hit that red button down below. Also hit that thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And with all that said, just leaves me to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again next time.